Right, Brendan?
You're 34.
I'm 34.
I think you're 32.
I was 2 years
When he
ago.
started here. When he
You're
started
30
here, you're
Oh,
32.
you're the
No, I was
same
33.
age as my oldest nephew.
Really?
Yeah. He just had a baby.
I'm not there yet. I
Yes,
just got
you are.
married.
You're there. You just don't know it.
They got married the year before you.
So did my brother.
Listen,
My-
time's ticking.
My brother's 2 years on what? October 12th?
That's good. That's good information.
I am Butler Eagle Sports writer Derek Pyda, and here with me today are fellow sports writer Brendan Howe and Eagle Sports editor Jake Merda Adams. This is Season 2 of the Alter Eagles Eye on Sports.
I found out today that he's more of an acquaintance of mine, but he's a friend of my brother's. He's going to be the DJ at my brother's wedding, which is going to be hilarious. It's so stupid.
When is your brother getting married?
Next May. I can't say I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a very odd day, just family-wise, and I have to make believe I'm happy when I really don't care. I was talking to my sister. I was talking to my younger sister today, and Tyler, like, really favors Anelia's side of the family. Like, he's really close with her younger brother, and, like, is really close with her younger sister, too. Like, he treats them like they're his siblings more so than he does. Like, he doesn't talk to my sisters much, and he'll, like, go out of his way to go hang out with Anelia's. And Cheyenne today is like, yeah, he told me recently, or Anelia told me recently, that they're not going to have bridesmaids because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings by leaving them out of the wedding, which means Cheyenne and Lissy would lose out and be Anelia's choice, obviously. So, yeah, Cheyenne's annoyed with that, and I'm annoyed in general.
That she can't
with
be a
Tyler.
bridesmaid and spend a bunch of absorbent money for like 15 minutes.
I don't think it's going to be a lot of money. It's like a fire hall wedding. Like,
But
it's
you
not
don't
gonna
understand.
be-
Dresses are expensive.
I'm wearing
Hair,
I'm wearing
makeup,
like khaki shorts and a
expensive.
collared shirt. That's what I'm wearing, because I'm not buying a tuxedo or anything.
Depending
Wearing
on-
khaki pants?
Shorts.
I don't care.
Khaki
Shorts.
Yes.
It's in May.
You're not wearing shorts.
Yes, I am.
No.
No.
Don't wear shorts.
I'm just letting you know right now, you're not wearing
I'll
shorts.
wear a t-shirt and shorts.
Wow.
You don't have to wear a tuxedo.
If you were
You're
my
not in the
brother
wedding,
and
but-
you showed up at my wedding and your excuse was that it's May, I'd be like,
There's the door.
see you in June.
Like,
Bye.
that was my intended purpose. Good. I don't want to be
The-
here wasting my day.
I'll rag on Mallory for a minute here. The first wedding that we went together was one of my best friends from high school in Chicago, and she hadn't been to a wedding in a long time. She was probably a kid the last time she had gone to a wedding, and this is like 6 or 7 years ago. And she asked me about this one dress that she had in her closet, and she pulls it out like, "Can I wear this? What do you think about this at the wedding?" And it was a white dress, and I was like, She's like, "What do you mean no?" I was like, "You can't wear that dress to the wedding." And she's like, "What do you mean I can't wear that?" I was like, "You can't wear white to someone else's wedding unless there's like a specific request for some reason." She's like, "That's stupid." I was like, No. You can't do this. Like, you will get run out of the building. So she's like, "Well, ask your friend if that." So I texted her.
Go
I was
on
like,
Reddit.
I was like, "Hey, my girlfriend wants to know if she can wear white to your wedding. And I know what the answer is going to be, but humor me, please." And he goes, "If he wants my future wife, or if she wants my future wife to stab her, she can." And I was like,
Listen, don't mess with a bride on her wedding day. I don't blame them. All right.
we went to a wedding over the weekend.
We're going to take you suit shopping. We'll get you a nice, like,
I'm
button
spending money on
down.
a suit.
You can do,
suit.
like, open collar, just, like, one button, you know.
Butterfly collar.
Yeah, right? Just
Everyone
some
should have
nice,
a nice
like,
suit.
nice
It's gonna be a-
breezy, like...
It's going to be a disco theme at the fire hall.
You know,
Take
you
a
could
button
really
down.
pull
Go
like
on.
a European look. You know, he could get you those like pants that are like in the summer that are
Now, I'm just thinking,
you wear some boat shoes.
I want to see Brendan in a bolo tie.
I'm not in just great of shape as I have been over the past 2 years. So
It's
I
in May.
wanna, yeah, I know. I'm gonna hit the gym. I'm gonna
Well, you
I don't
can't.
really post
You
on
know where
Instagram
abs
anymore.
are. You know where abs are made, right?
in the kitchen.
I don't know why I hit that one. That wasn't the one I wanted to hit.
It's episode 1 of the season. That was a little bit delayed.
I wanted to hit
We're
that.
not in mid-season form yet.
No, not yet. And I
I-
gotta change some buttons.
I went. So I know you're like big into cycling, right? I went to the gym.
something like that.
I went to the gym the other day and did the bike for 10 minutes. And I went and played football with my friends the other day. And I wake up yesterday, and I was like, my butt hurts. It hurt to walk around. Like, it was bad.
That'll do it to you.
Most
All
people,
of 10 minutes.
Yeah, most people, when they sit, I would tell them, like, feel like you're sitting up, You're using, like, low abdominal muscles. Yeah, it's going to be not fun for a while.
It hurt to
You
roll
gotta
over
get
in bed.
in shape for that turkey bowl.
I do.
Up. You're going to get embarrassed.
I'm thinking that. Don't worry.
You're going to be the turkey in the turkey bowl.
Thinking about that.
Yeah, you were promising Coach Sherwin a throwing arm. I want to see
worked
that.
Out, if it worked out where I had the hours to go there and throw, I would literally go just throw a football.
I'm like my dad. I could drop kick any ball. I kind of, when we were
You
there,
almost said anyone.
When we were there, I was kind of like, oh yeah, anything. Like when we were there,
So
I
like,
wanted to say,
do you
give
mean
me
drop kick or punt? Like a drop kick where it bounces and you kick it?
I've never like learned how to properly. I know how to the steps. I know how to line up for a field goal. I do. I've learned that. My brothers, I had to be into sports. I've been hit in the face with a baseball. My brother was a pitcher, and I was like, I'm like, are you a pitcher? I was like, doesn't seem like you're throwing it hard enough. And he whipped this ball at me and hit me straight in the face. Like I got hit right. I don't know how. I think that's why my nose was deviated. Anyways. So I want to see your throwing arm. I think we need to go to the Turkey Bowl this year.
I have a really.
Do you drink hot toddies? I'll bring hot toddies.
It's a holiday weekend. The last thing I'm going to do is go watch a bunch of.
That's true.
I will
It is a
actually
holiday
do this.
weekend.
Ask John. And I have an arm.
What about one of your final? Like,
I'll believe it.
One of his
Hey, here's the
practices.
thing. We
Maybe we'll
might
go
be
to-
working. He doesn't have to work because he gets the turkey bowl off. I
Oh.
might be working that day.
Okay.
He'll be
Well,
working
Saturday after
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Well, then
I don't know
we'll-
about Saturday, but he'll be working Thanksgiving because I will be off this year. He and I switched
There you go.
holidays.
There you
So I have
go.
There
an
you go. So
extended
he gets
family
what
coming
off?
in.
Oh.
He gets what off?
Christmas.
So wait, let me ask you guys. Oh yeah, because the paper comes out the day after Christmas, right? So you technically have to work on Christmas, huh?
Yeah, Christmas
Yep.
Eve would be the day that nobody has to work, I guess.
Yeah, it's always
Okay.
the eve of a holiday. So like this Sunday with Labor Day, we don't have to put a paper out for Labor Day Monday. But
So
we have
you'll
to-
be off this Sunday.
Yeah, but I will have to work on Monday to get a paper out. These guys will be off.
On Tuesday. Got it. I see how that.
Yeah.
Do we hear that, listeners? Are we listening?
You in Aruba?
Wait, what?
We have a listener in Aruba.
Oh yeah, you do
You
actually.
just offended him by
Okay.
not recognizing who I was talking about.
You do.
Him or her.
Yeah, we'd like to know who in Aruba is listening to our podcast. Let us know. AlterEaglePodcast@gmail.com. Send us a message.
Aruba,
Yeah.
Czech
Bahama.
Republic.
I was about to.
Come on, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego.
Makes
baby,
me think
why
of
don't we
Tom
go?
Cruise cocktails.
Brendan, you know where I'm
And
going on
dreams.
Saturday?
Where's that?
I love that movie.
Going to Savannah Bananas.
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to Brockway to watch Ohio State, Texas.
I
and
was
get-
gonna, yeah.
I
but
think I'm going to
not.
have way more fun
I don't think so.
than Ohio
You working
State,
on Saturday?
Texas.
No.
Not this Saturday.
Are you
No.
are you and Will watching Ohio State, Texas? I know Will
No,
took
we're
a
going
liking
to
to
the Penn
Texas.
State game this week.
Oh,
Oh, tell us. Okay,
It's
so
the-
who are they
the
playing?
100 Nevada. They're to park at Penn State's football game. $105.
Stop that right now.
$105.
who's the most famous Nevada quarterback in the history of Nevada?
Nevada.
You mean
Was
the
there a
school
Carr
or
brother?
the state?
Why are we saying
The school.
Nevada?
It would have to be Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, he knew.
Ah.
He knew.
Don't get me started.
forgot he went there.
Okay. Don't ask him to stand.
Oh, no. Need anything. Is it Nevada or Nevada?
I always say Nevada.
Nevada.
You said
You know
Nevada,
that,
though.
you know, because he said, you know the NBA YoungBoy song? Nevada? No?
I don't. Oh, is that why you said it like that? Like a
No.
rapper.
No, you got to listen to it. It's a good song.
What's it called?
Nevada.
Original.
He lost
Will's
his heart.
turning in there. The mouse is on
He
yeah,
the
lost
I
his
was
heart.
like-
He lost his heart somewhere in Nevada. That's the whole purpose.
I
of the
bet I
song.
know where in Nevada.
I was gonna say, come on.
Sin City.
Sorry, I lived there.
This is our preseason. Let's work out the kinks here.
I was delayed.
You've
Yeah.
lived everywhere.
I
That's
lived in
crazy.
Sin City.
Now you're
Yeah.
settled in Evans City.
I'm not settled in Evans City. I might be moving
Where to?
to Butler.
Hey friends, before we jump back in, just a quick reminder. If you're looking for all the latest high school football scores, schedules, news, and highlights around Butler County, make sure you check out this week's live coverage on our website. It starts every Thursday with features, previews, and more, and continues Friday evening with a live blog we update throughout the games and post-game recaps after that, so you don't miss a thing. ButlerEagle.com/section/sports has everything from local highlights to player spotlights. So it's a great place to stay caught up on all things high school football, soccer, and the rest of the fall sports. That's ButlerEagle.com/section/sports. Also, if you're enjoying this podcast, it really helps us out when you rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen. And don't be afraid to tell your friends and family. We love word of mouth. It not only helps more people find us, but it also lets us know what you'd like to hear more of. Thanks for your support. Now let's get back to the show.
Week one of the high school football. Week one of the high school football season is in the books. A lot of exciting games last week. Some of our teams won, some lost. Jake, we're gonna throw it to you. You were kind of back here in the pilot seat, taking everything in. What was the biggest news for you that came out of week one?
Well, obviously it was the Moniteau win. None of us saw that coming. We saw them losing by like 17 points on average. Two points. All right. Derek was closer. Brendan and I gave them less credit. But to win a game 17-0 by shutout, Brendan Sankey looked pretty good from what it sounded like. That's just great. I don't personally like seeing any team go winless in high school sports. Like, at least one win. Every team should feel that feeling at least once a year. So seeing a team end an 18-game losing streak is a big deal. To me, it also felt week one felt more exciting this year than last. We had Mars win its game in Florida on Saturday instead of Friday night. Yep. This year they win comfortably on Friday night. Butler wins in overtime, first overtime win of their coach's tenure. Moniteau obviously wins. Carn City blows their opponent out. Like, it just felt like everything started. If you're a fan of the teams in this area, it was a better overall start to the season than last year. It felt like. I think last year we went like 3-8 or something like that as a county. This year it was closer to 500. It just felt like better football. Yeah.
Well, one of those wins that you were referring to, of course, was the game. I was at Freeport hosting Indiana, and going into the season, Freeport has such an incredibly strong senior class. Sometimes we forget that, it's not just a question, hey, go out and play well. Their offense kind of got off to a slow start. They had 86 yards of offense in the first half, and they got Drew Ross, a great quarterback, Amos Glenn, a great running back, and you're like, okay, when's it going to get kick-started here? Mm-hmm. Second half kickoff, it's a scoreless tie at halftime, and Freeport is heavily favored against an Indiana team that's coming off a one-win season. Second half kickoff, Amos Glenn takes it 88 yards to the house. So first score of the game, and then moments later, Dawson Gaylott, who's a star linebacker for them, picks off a pass and returns it 22 yards for a touchdown. So after a frustrating first half, boom, just like that, it's 14-0. Glenn ended up scoring another touchdown on a short rush, and Drew Ross, the quarterback, scored to kind of cap things. The score by quarters was kind of crazy. For Freeport, it was 0-0, 28-0. They kind of everything they did was in the third quarter, but you really got to see Freeport kind of flex its muscles. It was a game where I believed they were going to win handily, and as it turned out, they won by 4 scores. I think Freeport's in for a big year, and the players that made the plays on a lot of the plays on Friday, I think they're going to be there all year as long as they stay healthy, hopefully. The other thing that kind of stuck out for me, obviously along with Moniteau, but you already pointed them out, Slippery Rock. I don't think there were many people picking Slippery Rock to beat Fairview, and they were up in the second half.
They were leading almost the entire game.
And gave up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter and ended up losing a close game to Fairview. That game was actually played at the University Stadium due to some construction that's still being done on the high school campus. But I think the key for Slippery Rock is this week. We'll get into the picks later, but they're playing Franklin. Mm-hmm. On paper, it looks like they should beat Franklin, but when you're coming off a loss that you had victory in your hands, it slips away. Sometimes kids can still be playing that game over in their head during practice leading up to the next game. As long as Larry Wonderuse, the head coach for the Rockets, can get the Rockets thinking about Franklin, focused on Franklin this week, hopefully they'll get their first win of the season this Friday. Actually, that game's played Saturday.
Yeah, it's at Saturday. We have
Saturday
games Thursday, Friday, and Saturday this week. The only time of the year that we're going to have 3 days of games. Can I add one little thing that was funny from my end?
Sure.
Being in the captain's chair, you weren't texting me most of the first half, like with updates from the game, and I'm sitting there kind of wondering, does he have like cell reception issues or something? What's going on here? And then it's like nothing end of first quarter, nothing halftime. And all of a sudden I get like 4 texts from you in the course of like 7 minutes.
In the span of less than 9 minutes of game time, Freeport scored all 4 of their touchdowns.
It was just really funny. Like how the burst is like, I'm not getting much from Derek, and Brendan sending me some updates because Mars is blown out. Beaver, basically from the jump. And then all of a sudden it's just an onslaught of text from Derek. It was funny.
So the way you could have segued the air fryer underwear is the garbage dump in Cherry Township down the road. Moniteau won the first game. Anyways, obviously Mars stood out to me. I'll talk a little bit about that. But Butler beating Shaler, I think I wrote about it for the cover story of the tab, which if you guys haven't checked out, it's worth a good read.
It's right there.
It is right there.
It's right there.
Seeing them beat a Whitfield team like Shaler, same size, just about. I think Shaler's a 5A school. They used to be 6A when I was at Butler. Around the same size. Seeing them go and do that on the road in overtime probably took a lot of mettle for them to do that. So I commend them on that. They're trending in the right direction, which is nice to see as a Butler grad, someone who covers them. But Mars, you said from the jump, 4 plays in, Gabe Hines scores from midfield on a jailbreak screen. I'm like, okay, well, cool. Mm-hmm. They go out, and their kicker, Dom DeBossi, I think is how you say it, kicks a perfectly executed backspin kick. They go down, jump on it. 4 plays later, another pass to Gabe Hine, touchdown. And that was kind of the story of the game. Gabe came up to me. I cover the game from the sidelines usually.
Yeah, you've been a best friend last week.
Unless it's too cold. He comes up to me, and after halftime, he goes, pencil me in for one more. I'm like, okay. Like, are you sure? He goes out, and he scored the best touchdown he had all game. As he's being tackled, he falls, pins it to his chest, gets up, and he comes off the field, and he goes, I told you. I was like, you did. That's right. So I think with how physical they are, as big a game as Gabe Hine had, their defense is really impressive. That's what I wrote about in my game story. They had, I think, 3 turnover on downs, 2 of them on goal. So really promising for them. You saw what Keemon Spell did in his opener from McKeesport. They have to run in them at least once this season. So we kind of hope that defense kind of stays level as they go along and hopefully face him.
That game's at McKeesport, too. Because I covered that game last year. The regular season game was at Mars. This year it's at McKeesport. Late in the season, I think that game's going to have a lot riding on it. We'll see. But it could be for the conference title. But, hey, we got all of September and most of October to get through.
Mars gave me this thought yesterday when I was going through and kind of setting up some of the picks stories that we're going to have for later this year and going week-by-week schedule. So I'm going to ask this hot take question. What is – and I know that this is an extremely small sample size and it's non-conference games, all of that. Was there any one result on Friday that had you most dramatically change your thought about what one of our teams could be? Whether it's Mars winning the way that it did or Moniteau pulling off an upset shutout to end its streak. Was there anything that you saw out there that was like, I might have this team a little wrong?
I would say, honestly, Mars. Now, Beaver usually has a really solid team. I don't know exactly what they have coming back this year. I picked them to win, Mars, but the way they won, I mean, they put an exclamation point on it. I think they might be a little stronger than I thought. I knew they have Gabe Hine, and they have Aiden Yoakum at running back, and obviously he's going to bring some speed. He's a star sprinter on the track team. But they are starting a first-year starting quarterback, and they lost a guy like Kasparovich from the running game. He was our county's leading rusher last year. So they could be a little stronger. I figured they were going to be 5 or 6 win team, probably a playoff team before the season started. Maybe I'm a little light in that prediction. Maybe they could be a little bit better. The fact that they went to Beaver and beat a program that's traditionally good, I think I may have shortchanged Mars a little bit, but we'll see. It's a long season.
Yeah.
Eric told me after the game that he thinks this team is better than last year's.
I was kind of curious about that with because you covered them more than anyone else last year.
I've covered them more than anyone else, I think, since he took over there. Like, there's not anybody from any other paper that's been there more than me. So he did say, and you kind of hear people say in the preseason, like, oh, we're going to be really good this year, blah, blah, blah. But going out and seeing them win the way they did, like Derek said, and him telling me after the game, this team is better than last year. After you lost, and I think Eric, his son was an all-state safety. They lose a starting quarterback who's really good. I mean, they lost him mid-last season, but then they throw Colin Urisnick in there. And you mentioned he's a new quarterback. He was also Gabe Hines' youth quarterback and his neighbor. So they know each other very well. They don't need to go out and have a rapport. But another team that kind of surprised me was Summit Academy putting up 40 points, which I think might have been the most points I've put up in the time I've worked here.
Definitely more than last year. I don't think they cleared 30.
Yeah, so one of their kids told me that they thought they could win the Whippeal title, which I'm not sure about. Maybe if they win a few more, or if they score that output and at least a few more games, they'll have a chance to at least make playoffs, which would be pretty cool for a school that's small and kind of fragmented in the way that they are each year.
Yeah, I probably would go with Mars as well with you guys, but just for the sake of having a different opinion, I'm going to say Slippery Rock and Moniteau right now, just for the reasons that we've already talked about. Slippery Rock surprised us with how they were winning that game almost the entire way through after having quarterback drop out, their starting quarterback drop out in the middle of camp or right before camp. And what that did to reshuffling that offense, I was not sure this team was going to be able to win too many games with that kind of change late in the process. And Moniteau, I think, we were all wondering, okay, they might get a win this year. Can they get 2? Now it's like, okay, maybe they can get 2, and is a third one out of the question now. I think they raised their over-under a little bit. I'd say the same thing for Slippery Rock. So for that reason, just to get away from Mars, I'll say those 2 teams I kind of think surprised me in similar ways.
As you know, a lot more is going on in the high school sports scene other than football. Of course, we got cross country and tennis, soccer, volleyball. We are going to look at the other sports. Brendan, we're going to kick it to you first. You've got some notes on 2 sports, of course, boys soccer and girls volleyball. What do you have for us? What are you looking at? Looking forward, the teams and the individual players that are in those sports involved in Butler County, looking forward to the 2025 season. As we've already gotten underway, but what are your thoughts on those 2?
Well, you're the guy that writes the non-football features each week, so listen closely here.
You got to bring the glasses down to the tip of your nose and real close.
In terms of girls volleyball, that might have been the most Jake has ever laughed at a joke of mine ever. So
mark it down.
Anyway,
I'm marking it down.
I'm not going to derail the show this much. All right, continue.
Whippeal Section 2-4A girls volleyball is strong as always. Each year I talk to those coaches, Brett Poirier, Amanda Fetter. Butler has a new coach, and Haley McCants here. They always say this is the strongest conference in the state. And honestly, they might have a point there. I think the teams to watch this year, though, are Freeport and Mars, who are not in that conference. They're in 3A, I believe. And last year, Mars wins that title. Freeport, they had to get through them in the section. Tom Phillips told me during the preseason that he has a very young team, but one that he thinks, or that others think around his program, will win a state championship fairly soon. Mars has a few girls back in Cecilia Christie, Gabby Weideman, that are really strong players. Their coach, Tammy Caraway, told me that they might take some time to gel, so we'll see there. But I think that'll be a really interesting section matchup to watch whenever they play twice this year. That'll be definitely one we'll have to get out to. And boys soccer, North Catholic reached the Whippeal quarterfinals last year. They have 10 of 11 starters back, and the only one they don't have back is Drew Shettlebauer, who moved on. He graduated. He is replaced. Right? Yeah, he is replaced by Dylan Shantz, a senior, a guy that their coach is really excited about. Freeport also has a few standouts back in Xavier DeWitt, who's a do-it-all guy, and offensive threat Ryan Sotera. Seneca Valley still has a few spots to figure out, and they play in the biggest classification, but having Jacob Prex, the latest in a pretty
Do we have any more coming?
successful line. I can ask him. When I talk to him, I'll ask.
You call him T-Pricks?
I don't think so. That caught me off guard. Butler went winless in section last year in boys soccer, but when I talked to Troy Money, their coach, he said they're trying to take it step by step, knock down one goal at a time. I go out to cover them tonight. A lot of really interesting things happening both there in girls volleyball and boys soccer.
So I got some girls soccer to talk about here. First of all, I'm going to bring up Karn City. We've talked about them several times on this show. 26 District 9 titles in the last 30 years. That's a dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you win 4 titles in 8 years and people want to call it a dynasty. Maybe you can. Maybe some people have different meanings for the word. 26 titles in 30 years is a dynasty. The key for Karn City this year is they do have right now 2 of their top players who are not playing because they're coming back from injury. Forward Caitlin Van Dyke, who's a sophomore, but she scored 23 goals last year as a freshman. So obviously that's a big part of their offense that's not in right now. And Trinity McFarland, a defender. Tracy Daly told me in the preseason a few weeks ago that she expects both of those players to be back and able to play at some point this season. So I think it's going to be interesting to see if and when they come back, how much they can contribute, and more pressing, more immediate for Karn City is how do they navigate their schedule without their 2 of their top players. But the fact that they got Hannah Daly, who was last year's Upper Allegheny Soccer League MVP, they have her back. They have Phoebe Brandon back, who's a midfielder who's adept at both scoring and playmaking. Ava Kamensky, who's a really strong defender for them. And the fact that they've got a sophomore goalie, first-year starter named Giada Bonetto, but Tracy Daly's very high on her. So I think Karn City's going to be able to, there's going to be some losses. In fact, I think they lost to DuBois the other day in I think it was the Indiana tournament. But DuBois is also, a few classes above Karn City. When they get down to the teams that they're going to be competing with in, their division standings and then into the playoffs, I think they'll be able to hold their own. Hopefully those 2 girls that are injured come back and can contribute once the postseason rolls around. The other thing is in girls soccer, Freeport and North Catholic, both in the same section. Both teams are loaded. Last year, Freeport beat North Catholic out for the section title, but North Catholic actually extended their season beyond what Freeport was able to do. Freeport lost to South Park in the Whitbill playoffs, and I believe North Catholic ended up crushing South Park. So those 2 teams are going to be playing each other twice this year. Freeport, North Catholic, obviously 1 game down in Buffalo Township, 1 game in Cranberry Township. Who wins, we'll see. But I think the section title is going to come down between those 2 teams as well. Golf-wise, Seneca Valley. I didn't have the time to tally this up, but however many matches they have had so far, Seneca Valley, they've had a number of matches where all 5 kids their top 5 scores have been under 40. Mm-hmm. Just some of the names that I remember from the emails: Vinci Villela, Marcos Lopez, Josh Marquardt. Dean Levantopoulos is the coach down there, and Seneca Valley always seems to have a pretty strong team. I think this might be one of their strongest ones in recent memory. Play it obviously like Cranberry Highlands, but they have a lot of kids who are capable of shooting low scores, par, maybe a couple shots over par. If you can do that consistently, you can obviously have individuals that are capable of going far, and obviously team-wise, looking at a possible run at a Whitbill title, we'll see for Seneca Valley. Joe Rapp, last I checked, the AC Valley Union golfer, every mega match that they've held, he had finished in first place. Mm-hmm. That's the last I checked. I think it was like late last week. I think there were 4 District 9 mega matches, which involve, I believe it's 9 or 10 teams. So you're talking,
And some of them are not full teams too. It's
right.
There's like 5 or 6 full teams, and then representatives of other schools there that
teams that aren't able to fill the whole. But it's still golfers from 9 or 10 different schools, and he was able to finish first in the first 4 mega matches. And each time he was golfing 34, 35. I did a feature story on him last year going into the state tournament, which he qualified for, but I know that he kind of, in his mind, kind of underperformed out there at the state championships in York County. But he's a senior now, I believe. And who knows what September has to bring for golfers. But right now, he is consistently number one. I mean, first 4 or 5 matches, he's been able to win those. Jackson Geiger, I'm working on a story on him right now. A Mars junior golfer. His worst score in 9 matches this year. Worst score, 36. And he recently golfed a 32. He recently golfed a 32 at Butler Country Club, which tied a program record. So last year he didn't even make the cut to be on varsity. He was called up to varsity late in the season. But this time last year he was golfing JV. And now he's golfing 33, 34, 35. No score worse than a 36, which is really, really impressive.
I don't think he was on my preseason golfers to watch list either. I don't think the coach gave me his name.
He just didn't give you his name. Well, the fact that this was his first year of starting, August varsity, maybe he just wanted to see what the kid could do once the season got started. But now it's pretty apparent that Jackson Geiger is a very good high school golfer. Again, I'm working on a story right now on him. I think it's going to be in Friday's paper. And it's not just him. Lucas Singh's a strong golfer for them too. Jack Weaver's a strong golfer for them too. So, but he's kind of leading the pack. 32 at Butler Country Club, which I'm always told, I've never golfed it because I stink, but I'm told that Butler Country Club, I mean, it's a challenging course. They hold, the WPGA holds like the amateur championship there every few years. There's a lot of local qualifying for the U.S. Open that has happened in past years at Butler Country Club. So it's a tough course. And he got a 32, which I believe I think it's 3 under par. I think par out there is 35. I am out of wind when it comes to golf and girls soccer. Jake, take it away. What do you got for us from a tennis standpoint and cross country?
We could hear the wind escaping there. Now, Derek, I don't know how the tennis season's going to turn out, but it's going to be back and forth.
Hey, you stole that. I gave you that last night. It's going to be back and forth.
I knew it.
He said this last night in the office, and I was like, I'm going to use that in the show. And he just kind of looked at me like I wouldn't. And I did. North Catholic probably is going to be our best team. I shouldn't even say probably. They're going to be our best team. They won Whitfield last year first time. Boys then won their first Whitfield title. So it was the year of the Trojans and Trojanettes. They return most of that starting lineup, including the sisters Bria and Delaney Kelly. The one big change this year is new head coach and Dorothy DeHonix. She took over in the summer, I believe it was. It was kind of a late coaching change from what I can tell. This is a team that made the state semifinals last year. They've had girls for the last few years make deep runs, either in doubles or singles, into the state championships. So I mean, this is where the talent is. I mean, there's not a lot to match up, whether it's at Butler or Mars or anywhere else this year. It's really going to be what we're following in the postseason in October is going to be how far do North Catholic players and the team as a whole go. So that's kind of the preview this year. On the cross country side, it's a little bit interesting. We lose some really talented runners, especially with Freeport's ace last year. But we have Carter French at Knock, who looks like the best boys distance runner right now. Butler's going to have probably the best depth on their side. They've got Brendan Ike. Wow, stumbled over all that stuff. We're doing good here. Brendan Eicher, Logan Rogers, and Ethan Thomas. I messed up Ethan and Eicher. That's what I was doing. They look like the deepest team this year. Probably going to be threatening for one of the Whitfield qualifying spots to make it to states, but they might need the back end of that roster to take a couple steps up this year. The team to beat on the girls' side is going to be North Catholic. That's a roster that
it's loaded.
Loaded. Their best runner in 2023, Madeline Mioff, who I'm doing a profile on for early next week, is maybe not their best runner this year because they are just so loaded, but also she's coming back from a pretty gruesome knee injury last year in the middle of the season that prevented her from defending her Whitfield title, making another podium run at states. And she didn't come back until she was back at the start of the track season in the spring, but she really wasn't all that healthy until around the Butler invite. They've said this is the kind of injury, and you'll read more about it next week in the Butler Eagle, that she opted not for surgery on a dislocated knee and chipped femur and a torn ligament.
Ouch.
Because she opted for strength training and rehab, and it's worked so far, but she's told me, like, this is an injury that in all likelihood surgery will come one day. It's just a matter of when, not if. But she's trying to, keep herself healthy enough to run for her senior season, because surgery would have really kind of delayed the start of whatever training she could do for this year. She might not be their best runner, and she won Whitfields 2 years ago. That's how good this team is. They've got, I think it was 5 girls that made our preseason watch list. I basically had to expand the roster just because I couldn't make it all North Catholic girls, and they all run roughly in the same 1 minute stretch. I was looking through some of the numbers last year, and one girl might have finished 17th at Whitfields and 37th at States, or 67th at States, and then another girl would have finished 30th at Whitfields, but 28th at States. They're all kind of the same runner just based on numbers. And I know that's not true in terms of their actual talent and whatnot, and how they go about running, but they're a homogenous blob of a team. And they talk about running.
We
as a
say that in a good way.
Yeah.
A homogenous
I was gonna
blob.
say, wait a second.
It's there's no standout on that team that's going to carry them the way that some cross country teams are. They're going to win as a team and lose as a team, and they're probably going to do a lot of winning as a team. We've got Butler's got Zari. She's going to be back as a sophomore this year. She had a really good freshman season last year in distance, so she should be another girl to watch on that side. But yeah, I mean, it's going to come down to probably team-wise, Butler boys, North Catholic girls.
Go cross country. Don't fall down like Brendan here.
Did you fall down?
At some point he did. This is our first Thursday game coming up this week. I will be there. Reimersburg, Union AC Valley hosting Red Bank Valley. Thursday night, 7 o'clock. Be there. Actually, I will be. You'll be in the office. Who do you got in this game? It should be a good one.
I view Red Bank Valley in the same lens as I do Carn City, where it's those teams out there in that area of, I don't want to say Pennsylvania, but I'll say wooded area.
Out there in that area.
Yeah, out there in the wooded area. That they're very strong. I rarely ever pick against either, and I won't here. I think Union AC Valley Red Bank Valley, great start here, beats Union AC Valley.
Jake?
I'm picking Red Bank Valley too. I think they just have a little bit more firepower right now. Union AC Valley got off to a pretty strong start last week, and Max Gallagher looks like he's going to be able to take some of that two-way elite play that Owen Bish did a lot of last year, just at 2 different positions. I want to see more though before I would pick them in a game like this to win. It was close. I was considering going with the Falcon Knights in this one, but I'm going to take Red Bank Valley. Yeah.
So last week, Red Bank Valley beat Ridgeway, but they gave up a lot of rushing yards. It was close to 200 rushing yards to Ridgeway in a win, but I think Union AC Valley with Logan Skabinski, Max Gallagher, they want to run the ball to begin with because that would take pressure off of their freshman starting quarterback, Andrew Kiefer. Playing at home, I think they're going to be able to run the ball enough to kind of alleviate some of that pressure off of their freshman quarterback. I got them winning a really good game over Red Bank, 34-28. Bashir at Butler. Butler going for their first 2-0 start, and it would be a while. I don't know the last time they started 2-0. But Bashir coming to Art Bernardi on Friday. Brendan, your alma mater, do they start 2-0?
This is kind of the perfect situation for them to win back-to-back games, where they win a really emotional game on the road that could have just as easily, especially being those overtime, slipped from their grasp. And then they play a school that's much smaller than they are here at home. Bashir has to travel here. Fun fact, I looked back yesterday. Butler has had back-to-back wins in every season since 2020. So wow. I feel that that's pretty interesting. I think that they extend that streak this week, and they beat Bashir 28-8.
Yeah, I just think that my only risk with this is the kind of emotional win that they had last week, and the celebration that they have, justifiably so. Is there any sort of setback from it? It's still early in the season. All teams are still figuring out what they are at this point. Like if they had won that kind of game in week 6 or 7, I'm sitting there going, okay, yeah, I'm very confident in picking Butler to win it over Brashear. I'm a little less so right now, but it just didn't seem like Brashear has the offensive firepower to hang in this one. And if Mark Clems and Nico Baguetta are going to be this good, or get better as the season goes on, I think Butler's going to be able to hang 40 points on them in this one. I think I had this one as a 40-20 Tornado win.
So last week, Brashear played a Class A team, Cornell, and gave up, I believe it was 35 points. That's a Class A team.
Yeah.
Butler, we kind of saw what they have last week. We got kind of a preview of what could be in store for them on offense this year. I think Shaler, I don't know how good they're going to be this year, but I think Shaler is a tougher opponent than Brashear. Butler won last week in overtime. I think this week they win more handily. No overtime this week. 31-6 Butler over the Brashear Bulls.
Brendan, did you and I say what our scores were for the Union AC game? Because I know I didn't.
We didn't.
I have Red Bank Valley 35-26.
I am 24-16.
Okay, the one game this week that involves two local teams. Knock trying to get that first win under first-year head coach T.J. Wiley, going to Stonefield in North Park to face the red-hot North Catholic Trojans. Brendan.
I think that Knock and North Catholic are kind of on opposite sides of the roster spectrum right now.
Mm-hmm.
Knock has a new head coach, still kind of figuring out who their playmakers are, things like that. North Catholic, they have too many playmakers. I don't think that Knock will be able to kind of keep up with them there, and I think the final for that one will be 49-13.
Jake,
wow.
You agree with Brendan?
I agree with him on the outcome. Yeah, I'd 49's actually I could see that being that high scoring. I got North Catholic winning this one 35-7 for a lot of the same reasons that Brendan has. This is a team that is loaded on offense. Knock very clearly has a lot more to figure out on that side of the ball. Wiley's kid is playing quarterback. We know that, and so there is some familiarity in terms of system and talent. I don't know. Going into week 1, I kind of thought Knock was going to be a little bit better against Kiski area, and for them to come out the way that they did, I was just like, okay, maybe maybe there's more growing that needs to be done right now. I guess going back to that surprise question I asked earlier, this would be kind of the opposite for me. Is Knock is the team that surprised me the most in the opposite direction, but I think North Catholic's going to run away with this one pretty quickly, and the Knights are going to be looking for a week 1 or week 3 win.
Yeah, the Trojans have a lot more proven commodities on offense. I mean, you look at Joe Filitsky, last year threw for the most yards in the Whitbill. Riker Kennedy, 97 catches last year, led the entire state in receptions. Tommy Arth, Logan Shade, 3 rushing touchdowns this past week for the Trojans. There's a name that I recognize. I didn't exactly know what kind of role he'd be playing for the Trojans
A
this
run
year.
game. They did not have that last year.
So they got a lot more that they know they can go to on offense, as opposed to Knock, which right now seems to be searching for answers. I just think this is a huge hill for Knock to climb, going up against a tough team on the road. I'm taking the Trojans to beat the Knights 35-14. Mars at Bethel Park. I know you were high on Mars. I mean, their blowout win over Beaver last week kind of surprised me. I picked Mars to win. I picked them to win a close game. Now they're going to Bethel Park, which is coming off its own impressive win over Seneca Valley. So who are you taking here, Brennan?
So last year, I think we were very, very confident in Mars going into this game, and Bethel Park kind of took them by surprise, it seemed. This year, that won't happen. Bethel Park is a 5A school. I always kind of consider in matchups like these the depth that a school in a larger classification has over a school in a smaller classification. I remember I used to choose Freeport over Armstrong, and then Armstrong would come, they'd keep up, and then the second half would kind of be very disproportionate. I think that Mars does score its points this week, but they just fall short 35-28.
So I had to look this one up because I forgot to yesterday going through show prep. I did not realize this. I had the Seneca Valley Bethel Park game on for a little bit on the laptop while working on stuff, and Did you guys know that they had 600 yards of offense last week?
Oh my God,
Bethel Park.
Yeah,
I didn't know. No, I knew
Lord.
they scored 43 points. I didn't know they had 600.
they ran.
yards.
So this is what I've got. 301 yards they ran for, and Evan Devine in his first season back at football after missing last year, kind of taking a sabbatical, had 359 yards passing. Mars, what part of your recap on Friday, Brendan, was about how good that defense looked and how much like pride they took in almost pitching a shutout. Here's a test.
if they almost have a shutout this week, then I will not doubt Mars.
Yeah, now we're thinking 8-2, 9-1 the rest of the way. I have Bethel Park coming back down to earth a little bit. I think Mars's defense is going to be better than Seneca Valley's this year, so I'm picking this one to be a Bethel Park win, 24-21. But we'll see.
I think this is going to be a shootout, and I got Bethel Park playing at home, beating Mars 37-31. All right, the last game that's actually going to get some analysis here is a team that you just brought up, Jake. Seneca Valley coming off that loss against Bethel Park, hosting North Hills, looking for the first win in the Don Barclay era. Jake, I'm going to do you first on this one. Do they pick it up this week?
I think so. I have them winning this one 28-21. I did see, from what I could watch on TV a little bit or on the laptop a little bit, that's an offense that's going to put up some points this year. We couldn't say the same last year. I don't know exactly what Adam Gem had, the Vanderbilt commit, but Andrew Lobig was slinging it a little bit. He had a great run in the third quarter. They scored a touchdown and then converted an onside kick and to get the ball back, and he breaks like 3 or 4 tackles down the right sideline, takes it 59 yards, I think it was, for a touchdown. Not exactly like the fastest guy on the field, but showed some legs. So I think if this defense can put some things together here, like I said a minute ago, I think Mars is a little bit farther along. This is a team that should be able to put up enough points to hang with most teams more weeks than not compared to last year. North Hills is in a little bit of a tricky spot. Pat Carey, their longtime head coach, is taking a sabbatical this year because of health concerns. Brody Zangaro is taking over for that, or has taken over for them. He's leading the team this year. So not sure what that does in terms of team chemistry or ability or anything like that. It's tricky for us to know considering they're Brendan.
It's just Lucky Rock.
He's trying to play it off, and I would not let him get away with that. I don't know what's going on as far as the team dynamics and everything like that. But whenever you see like a coach having to kind of step away unexpectedly, that's never a good sign. You don't know how that's going to impact players.
And a long time coach too. Pat's been the head coach down there for like 15 years now.
So I'm going less so for the coaching concerns, more so because I think Seneca Valley's offense is going to be good enough. I'm taking the Raiders in this one.
You mentioned Andrew Lobig. Last year, then head coach for Seneca Valley, Ron Butchley, talked to me in the preseason last year that, we got this quarterback this year. His name's Andrew Lobig, and he's really mobile. So the question was last year, how is he going to be able to develop as a passer? And I think there were times last year where the passing game for Seneca Valley struggled, but I think he's definitely made some huge strides. 267 yards passing last week in the loss against Bethel Park. And as you mentioned, he showed off his legs with that long touchdown run. If they can get to the point where they can go into each week challenging teams with a quarterback who makes good reads, can make plays happen in the passing game, but also have that mobility where he can break out and get a big run here and there, I think Seneca Valley's offense is in for a big year. I think this week it's going to be enough. Last week it wasn't enough to beat Bethel Park. This week it will be enough to beat North Hills. I'm taking the Raiders 33-17. Brendan, Seneca Valley, North Hills.
I'll be there. I wish it was at Morelli Stadium, which I have not covered a football game there. I played there when I was in high school. But I get to scratch off next to your stadium off my list of where I've covered a football game. I have been here this is my 4th football season. I still haven't, so I'm excited for that.
Yet. All right.
I've also never covered a Friday night game at Butler. So, yeah.
Really?
Never. I've covered away games. But I think kind of with what you guys said there, if you give up 600 yards as a defense, I'm sure they had some running to do this week. I'm sure that they are going to come into this one a little upset at that. So I see Seneca Valley winning this one, their home opener under Don Barclay, 28-10.
We don't want to jinx it, John, but we got every one of us is picking you to get your first win this week, so we hope it happens. For the rest of these games, just final score and your team. Derry at Freeport, Brendan.
I need to pull it up 1 second. I can't see here.
He's taking Oakland. No, I'm just.
When have I ever gone against Freeport? I will say 42-13 here in Freeport.
Freeport 28-7 over Derry.
35-14 Freeport.
Brookville at Carn City. This will be my game on Friday. I'm picking the Gremlins to roll 44-14. Brendan.
32-6.
I'm going high on this one. 55-7 Carn City.
Wow. Okay, Moniteau coming off the first win in Clay Kohlmeier's coaching tenure, but now they're going to a team that played for the state championship last year. Moniteau at Port Allegheny.
Sorry, they're not starting this one 2-0. Port Allegheny wins 42-7.
Port Allegheny 36-7.
Port Allegheny 28-0.
Summit Academy at New Brighton. Summit showed offense last week, but I have New Brighton winning this game 22-8.
I'm going New Brighton 37-21.
It's a shame because I'm gonna move a further game ahead of you guys with the Summit Academy 27-26 win.
Wow.
And our one Saturday game this week, Slippery Rock going up to Franklin. I think they put last week's disappointment behind them. Slippery Rock 29-16 over Franklin.
28-20 Slippery Rock.
Slippery Rock 24-16.
We're all picking Slippery Rock.
And we go ahead.
I said right before that, no analysis, but I feel like I got to introduce each game. This is our only Saturday game. Slippery Rock trying to come off of that disappointing loss last week. The Rockets win against the Knights this week, 29-16.
Just progressively turned more and more into like a Steelers angry 90s broadcast. We didn't do this. We didn't have a show last week. We were live at Carn City the Friday before it dropped last Thursday. But we did have our picks in the paper. We stand right now, and this cannot hold for the rest of the year. This is just not possible. But Brendan somehow has a 2-game lead. He's 9-2 after week 1. Derek and I are 7-4. So we got some ground to make up.
It'll happen.
Might be with that Summit Academy game.
We got to put I believe I ended the year back in the spring at 21-18.
Or are we starting 0-0 this year?
Is that the way we're doing it?
What do you guys want to do?
I think it's New Year.
Okay, New Year.
I think it's New Year.
I think it's a fresh start, Brendan.
Yeah.
It's an opportunity for you to redeem yourself, and then what we can do is
the past is the past.
Then we could maybe, if you win this season, we could do like something. We'll think about it later.
Something's very
Whole
descriptive.
trivia episode.
We'll do like a showdown, like a Jeopardy style. I'll get things in here, and you guys can stand, and we can use the whiteboard. It'll be fun.
Oh, I'm gonna host.
Oh no.
Jeopardy.
We got to get you the long. No, I want you to do like a Wheel of Fortune. Not Wheel of Fortune. Yes, where he had the long. Bob Barker. Bob Barker had the long.
Don't forget to get your pets spayed and neutered.
And you guys are gonna have to dress up for that. Okay, moving on.
All right, I'm good with this.
Derek, who's the only defensive player of the year in NFL history to go undrafted?
Okay, now it's time for Beyond Brendan with Butler.
We just need a logo for it that says Beyond Brendan. And it's just him looking into space.
He's like,
Welcome to Beyond Butler, our weekly segment where we talk about something outside of Butler County sports, whether that be professionally or collegiately. Last night, we got some news. Jake is on the phone that Kenny Pickett has been traded one more time. That's the third time in 2 years that he's been traded.
Super Bowl champ Kenny Pickett.
Super Bowl
what do you guys
champion.
think
Put some respect on that name.
of him being traded? And obviously, revisionist history here. 2021, he was drafted, and Derek remembers my reaction. But what do you guys think of him kind of becoming a journeyman at this point in his career?
I want to. I know you were glad to see him be traded last night.
Thrilled.
So hold on a second. Wouldn't, as a Kenny Pickett hater, wouldn't you love it if he stayed on the Browns and at some point this year they play the Steelers, he gets in the game and just completely implodes?
I was
throws
hoping,
like 3 pick sixes.
I was hoping to see him play the Steelers at Acrisure when I go cover that game, because that would have been hilarious had he had to go out against that defense with Jalen Ramsey and T.J. Watt, Alex Highsmith, and Patrick Queen, and him go up against that. I would have loved that. But the fact, I don't hide it at all. I strongly dislike Kenny Pickett. And the fact that he is being traded and kicked around so much means he is one step closer to not playing football anymore.
I'll say this for Kenny Pickett, and this is I try to, I think about this way about a lot of us Steeler quarterbacks, because so many people, I've heard people say that Landry Jones was the worst quarterback in Steelers history. Kenny Pickett's the worst quarterback in Steelers history. He did have, you have to admit, he did have a knack that first year of, it's kind of like Tim Tebow. Play horribly the first 3 quarters and then find a way to make plays late to help the Steelers win games. I mean, it happened against Baltimore. It happened against the Raiders on a Christmas Eve.
Didn't happen against Miami.
But the problem was his second year, he didn't progress. He kind of like stagnated and actually, I think, took a few steps back. The game against Cleveland a few years ago, which may have been his last start for the Steelers. I can't remember.
No, it was against Arizona, wherever he Slater dove and got hurt there.
The game against Cleveland where the Steelers' only touchdown in that game was a long touchdown run by, I believe it was Jaylen Warren, and Pickett threw for like 70 yards. Steelers lost the game by like 7. It's like if you would have had, you stick Andrew Kiefer from Union AC Valley out there, maybe make a few. I mean, how many times have you seen it where a team just loses a game by like 1 score, but like one aspect of their offense was like non-existent? That game is the one that kind of
Giants
really got me.
The Browns.
That's
the Browns.
That's the game that really got to me, because it was like, Kenny, you did okay the year before. You showed your ability to help the team win late. Where's the progress at? He just kind of it was like he was in quicksand. But anyway, regarding his being traded, let me ask you this: does he ever start another game in the NFL?
I sure hope not.
Absolutely this year. With that team, with the Raiders, with how dysfunctional the Raiders are.
I also think it's really funny, too, because I'm not a big Pitt fan. Like, I don't like Pitt football. And he is behind a West Virginia quarterback on the depth chart, which I'm sure West Virginia fans love. So.
I'm not nearly the Kenny Pickett hater as Brendan is. Never will be, because he is a Super Bowl champion, and we will respect that. But it is funny that he goes from the dysfunctional quarterback room that was the Browns to the dysfunctional quarterback room that is the Raiders. And the only other one that comes close to being as dysfunctional, in my opinion, is the Giants. I love that Giants quarterback room so very much. I love that Browns quarterback room, or what it was, so very much in terms of just peak comedy. And now he goes behind Gardner Minshew, who we all know Minshew Mania is just, it's like Jameis Winston, basically. He's going to throw for 400 yards and 4 TDs one week, and he's going to throw for 80 and 4 interceptions the very next week.
Or you could throw Kenny Pickett in, and he'll throw for 78 yards and a couple picks.
Yes, yeah. I love this. And Aiden O'Connell's the only other quarterback on that roster, but he's injured, which is why they made this trade. I feel really bad for Pickett in a way, because he's going to yet another crappy team, but it's very funny in terms of just like the quarterback carousel comedy.
One thing about Kenny Pickett that always did kind of bother me, I don't watch the post-game interviews like you do, but the ones that I saw, nothing was ever his fault. And I'll say that for Ben, whether you want to say he was just saying it to say it, when he had a bad game, he'd get up in front of the microphone and say, look, it's on me, whether or not you believed it or not. But you can't stick a quote from a guy in a paper unless he says it. So what the papers, the reporters had to report was Ben said it was his fault. With Kenny Pickett, it was never his fault. It was always like some, extenuating circumstance. This is why I completed 6 of 20 passes for 36 yards. It wasn't my fault. It was somebody else's fault. Everything else, it was like stuff that was beyond his control. It's like, no, you're out there. Obviously, a lot of the blame has to fall on you, and he never took that blame, and that always bothered me.
I do wonder, though, how much of it was Matt Canada, because I still think that he could have been like a reasonably good starting quarterback for 6 or 7 years, best case scenario. I never thought he was going to be elite, but like there's a timeline in which he could have been a perfectly solid, mediocre starting quarterback that would have been just fine with the Steelers, but you need to put a lot of good pieces around him, a lot of good coaching around him to get to that point. I don't think he ever had that, because it seems like Tomlin has no interest in coaching any young quarterback at all. And Matt Canada was a joke of an offensive coordinator. I think even I, as an outsider, sees that just the way that the rest of Steelers Nation did.
Where is Matt Canada now?
Out of coaching.
Somewhere.
The Raiders just picked him up as their offensive coordinator. Here you go, Kenny. Get back in there.
The Raiders are not scheduled to play the Steelers until 2027, so we need him to sign an extension.
You're forgetting that they're going to meet this year in the AFC Championship game.
True, you're right. That would be phenomenal.
Aaron Rodgers against Kenny Pickett with everything on the line.
Well, we're on the topic of football. Friday night, and I will have a feature on this coming out in Thursday's paper, right,
Yep.
Jake? As I'm arriving at Beaver, I get on the field, and I see Gabe Hine has a backplate that is personalized with the 7-Eleven logo. Says always open. That is his reasoning as to why he wore it. He was always open, had 4 touchdowns. Even when he wasn't, he still caught a touchdown, as we said. But I was thinking with that, customization, personalization, accessories, and football uniforms. What do you guys think of those? I feel like Derek might have a certain opinion that differs from Jake and I. And what would yours look like if you played football today?
Now, when you say personalized, are we talking literally a different uniform than your teammates?
No, like armbands, like gloves, eye black.
Well, I'd have
shoes.
I'd have gloves on that would say "Daddy's home." Daddy's home.
All right.
There.
I love it.
Daddy's home, baby. I'm coming home.
Daddy's home, and it says "baby" across the thumbs. I've always, like, every time I did Madden create a character, I always had like the dark black visor. Even playing quarterback, I don't know why, it just looked cool. So I definitely do that. I would definitely be one of the players that would want to have custom cleats every game. And if I was a starter making several $1 million a year, I would eat that $10,000 fine or whatever it is to customize my cleats.
I feel like at a certain point they'd suspend you.
Well, they have the My Cause, My Cleats, but that's like 1 week
it's
a year.
1 week a year. Yeah. I say just do it. It's similar to like goalie masks or goalie helmets and catcher's gear now, where they let them be a little bit more customizable, or like Bryce Harper wears his Fanatics cleats every now and then. And baseball of all sports is the one that's starting to have a little bit more fun with what they accessorize with. I would do custom cleats for games. I think they would be fun.
I wore triangles of eye black under my eyes and
triangles,
a sleeve on my left arm, but not on my right arm.
I've never been a sleeve guy.
See, I actually stopped wearing it because in practice I would run, and like the nylon like surface of it, when you're running, unless it was wet, the ball would slip and you'd fumble. Like I fumbled on 3 straight plays, and finally I was like, I'm taking this off. I never put it back on. So
yeah, what is the point of the arm sleeve?
It just looks cool. RG3.
Sometimes some of them can be actual compression sleeves.
Yeah,
so that would be a different story. But a lot of players just
something I did start to do towards the end of when I was playing football. When it was cold, I would wear a hoodie because I thought like a hoodie, like the hood out of the, I thought it looked cool.
I have sleeves and leg sleeves like when I cycle, because if I don't wear like a long leg kit, for in the morning when it's cold, because you start really early riding. Typically.
I was once in shape enough I would have worn a crop top, but I didn't. Like your jersey, like folded up under.
Derek's face.
You can do that in like the college football video game now. Like they've gotten really into that, but I'm gonna pull out.
What? They let the players wear crop tops?
Yeah, and they have like 6-pack abs underneath. But
did someone like write in and put that in like the jar? Suggestions.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Everyone likes
make video games fun again.
I mean,
I noticed I played Madden. I'll say this because I don't want to run too long, but you can choose your coach's shoes in Madden now. Like when you're playing franchise,
that's customization.
You can put on like Jordans on your coach.
Yeah, but
I don't
like
need
why?
That. Make the game actually
don't you
run
just
better.
Want to play?
It
don't
does
you
run
just,
better.
Get
I
down
told
to business. Like let's just like.
So Daddy's home gloves. We'll get you those next time.
Do they charge extra for that?
No, they don't.
We'll get you those. Who's your daddy?
That's funny.
The best baseball bat. I like Andrew McCutcheon's pencil. That one's a pretty good one.
Sorry, that's why I was doing it, and it started playing
something else. Just need to give me a little
realize
keyboard so I can pretend to be the guy from.
Let's do that. That would be funny.
From Peanuts Gang.
No, you need to be the one from. You need to be the guy from Sesame Street, and when he messes up, he bangs his head on the keys, and then he like rolls his forehead on it.
Oh, I actually don't really. This just reminds me of the Peanuts all the time. Linus. He's the one who plays.
Well, then we'd have to have you sit.
Yeah, I have to be like knees up and like.
Okay, so we're doing. When are we doing all this extra video footage? Let's do it. I say let's make it happen. Okay. Brendan, go ahead. Sorry.
Derek, who is the only Defensive Player of the Year in NFL history to have gone undrafted?
You don't like me breathing into the mic. Sorry. John Randall. Charles Haley.
James Harrison,
He was defensive MVP?
Defensive Player of the Year.
Really? I did not remember
There's another
that.
one that I can go stick my head in the sand for.
Boom.
He's 0-1, baby. He's 0-1.
Congratulations, Brendan.
Unlike Butler and Moniteau, Derek will not be undefeated this season.
Thank you.
Thanks for rubbing that in, Jake. We got one more thing to talk about here. Bold prediction regarding fall sports. It doesn't have to be football. Any fall sport that we cover, any team, bold prediction. And it can't be that I'm going to go 39-1 this year.
I believe that Mars football will make it past McKeesport and into the Whippeal title game.
I like that one.
You like
That's
that
bold. That's bold.
Okay.
We'll come back to it in November.
My bold prediction, and I'm going to go with it's got to be a reach, is Butler girls volleyball is going to make the Whippeal playoffs.
Wow. The question is, who out of that group in their section is not going to make the playoffs? Because those are some
I mean, they've got 4 teams that can make the playoffs.
really
every year.
good teams.
Yeah. Without knowing anything about what the rest of the field looks like, I'm just gonna say Pine Richland at random. Okay. That's it. That's all I got.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna stick with football. I'm gonna say, in my time here, we've only had 5 football teams play for a Whippeal championship. Seneca Valley's done it twice, Mars once, North Catholic once, and Knock once. We will have a team play for a Whippeal championship this year in football, but it will not be Mars. That's my bold prediction.
Ooh, I'm gonna say North Catholic in that case.
There's 2 other teams. I'm thinking, no pressure, guys. No pressure. It's late August. We're putting it in the Whippeal championship game. I'm going to say either North Catholic or Freeport. And ironically, technically, they could meet each other in the championship game. Wouldn't that be crazy? North Catholic against Freeport in the Whippeal championship game. They're both 3A, and they're in separate conferences. They could play each other. I think one of those teams gets to the Whippeal championship.
That's an editor's dream.
Yeah.
When you have 2 teams in a championship game. That's an editor's dream.
John Gaylott against Chris Rizzo. Cage match, go.
Follow us on butlereagle.com, especially on Friday. This year, our high school football landing page is going to have updates throughout the night. It's going to be a little bit of analysis as much as we can pull off of Twitter or what I'm getting from text from the reporters that we have out there. And we'll be at 4 games this week, still kind of determining some stuff, but we're going to be at 4 games roughly each week for the rest of the season. So follow us for more information and follow our Instagram account as well. Lord's rocking out in the background here.
We encourage you to subscribe to the Butler Eagle YouTube channel and Apple or Spotify podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Alter Eagle Podcast and at Butler Eagle News. Goodbye.